Start.
Hello.
Rob, this is when we do the intro. Yep. Yep.
What?
All right, just someone start it, please.
Dun dun do 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 do.
I couldn't understand you.
Just keep it going. Keep it going.
Dun dun do 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 do.
Are you singing this?
Just keep it going. Keep it going.
Rob has no working internet, and it's time for week one. And now here's Coach Crendor. Do 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 do. And part of Rob. Burp.
Ba, ba, ba. Ba, ba,
Yep. There we are.
ba, ba.
Honestly, that's a fitting start to this season. Rob.
Ba, ba. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. I really can't understand anything, though, to be honest with you.
All right. Honestly, that's fine. So yeah, Rob's internet's broken. He's on a mobile hotspot.
Lads, I think I did my part.
Yep, you did it. You did it. Good job. You did it. Proud of you. All right. That couldn't have gone any better. In fact, I say that, but
Probably the best intro that we've ever done.
I also accidentally clicked on this Amazon Prime ad on Reddit, so
Nice, good.
so yeah, great start to this NFL season. Again, very fitting, I think, for the actual season that we're about to embark on.
Yeah, we say season loosely. I mean,
Listen, I'll take what we can get.
yeah, I mean, hey, I ain't complaining. It's football.
Mhm.
You know, we need some kind of distraction, some sort of normalcy in the world at this point. But my God, is it going to be it's going to be one for the ages, Coach.
It sure is. It's going to be an experience. So, honestly, here's something I'd like to hear. I'd love to hear, like, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman do the crowd noise of every game. I think that'd be pretty fun. You're like a bunch of people in the crowd, like, wow, yeah, oh, I'm Joe Buck.
I'm Joe Buck.
That's the only crowd noise you get. That'd be fun.
They just dubbed Joe Buck over Joe Buck. That'd be
I'm Joe Buck.
that
Joe
would
Buck.
be that would be the 2020 that I envisioned for the season. So Bear is currently on vacation. He won't be back until next week. And as Coach and I said, Rob is, well, I mean, you heard him.
Yep, you heard him.
Hopefully Rob will be back next week as well. But I mean, it's week one. We had to get our picks in. We got to get the power rankings and the Jello puddings and the Rudy.
Exactly. We got to get all that in. And it's opening day, right?
Happy football.
Happy football. But yeah, we might have to place Rob on the IR if this doesn't correct itself soon.
What, the IR for 1 week?
Yeah.
He's subbed out. He's at training camp still.
Yeah, he's in training
He
camp.
missed the plane. There you go.
Yeah, and then Bears pulling an Antonio Brown. He's on vacation week one.
Yep.
So.
Hopefully he doesn't take a literal bag of dicks and throws it at an ex-girlfriend or what did Antonio Brown do?
That's a great
He did something like
question.
that.
I forgot that was last year. It was like all over the place. We thought he was
That
going
was
to
the
play.
talk of the town.
Yeah, and then that happened.
And he just got increasingly Antonio Brown-ish, and now I don't think I've heard his name this entire year.
I think I heard some people be like, maybe we should sign Antonio Brown, but that never happened.
You remember when Antonio Brown's mental capacity was the biggest thing that we had to talk about in the world? Man, those
And
were
it
the days.
definitely was not a big thing
Yeah,
physically.
seriously.
Here's something fun. The Eagles signed 41-year-old Josh McCown to the practice squad.
I did see that. They wanted a classic offensive capable quarterback to just destroy in his prime.
Yeah.
on the practice squad.
I think, is he the oldest quarterback in the NFL? Actually, how old is Tom Brady? 41? He's 43.
Yeah, I think Brady's
Oh my
43.
God.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone's making these jokes like, "Oh man, here comes old man McCown," when really Brady's still there at 43. Man.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a pretty big difference between
Well,
the two.
there is, yes. One had to play with like the Cleveland Browns and teams where he got his head bashed in, and one had a competent offensive line for 20 years.
Yeah, yeah. And now he's on the Bucks. So the world is right, Coach.
Yeah.
I gotta say I'm wrong. I have been saying it since last season. I thought that because we got Tom, there'd be absolutely no way that there'd be a season this year. But somehow, I guess we're going to at least start a season. Whether or not we end it, I don't know.
You'll at least get to see one game with the Tom Brady Buccaneers. And they played the Drew Brees Saints, the 40-year-old bowl.
You mean the Jameis Winston Saints?
Yes. But here's the thing. You might not know this. This is the oldest quarterback battle ever. 43 versus 41 years old.
Ever.
Until they play again in the middle of the season. Then that'll be the oldest battle ever.
Yeah, because they'll be several weeks later.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you. It's like, oh, yeah, you've never been as old as you are right now.
Yeah, no, it's exactly that. Also, Adrian Peterson, one of our favorites, signed with the Detroit Lions.
You know, what's funny about AP is that he just keeps moving more north.
Yeah.
Every team that he signs, he just goes further and further north of the country. And, of course, the next stop of that is going to be the CFL.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, he was already pretty north with Minnesota. But then, he had to go back to the bottom of the United States. And now he's just, slowly creeping his way back up until he does get to that CFL.
I'm waiting until he gets promoted to be Santa Claus. Just think of how many sticks he's going to give to the kids.
That's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of them.
Yep.
In sad news, Broncos Von Miller out for the season.
Yeah, that surgery that he's got to get is that's rough. I mean, I think that he's getting the same ankle surgery that I got on mine. Yeah, he's got a dislocated tendon, which is I mean, I tore my tendon, so I guess I'm slightly better than Von Miller. I'm just saying, but but yeah, it's season ending because there's no way he's gonna be able to come back from that. That's that's just a lot of therapy. But I did like his half-hearted or his warm-hearted nature when he was tweeting it out, talking about what is he gonna do when he tweeted that picture of Kobe Bryant.
Oh yeah.
He's like, what would Kobe do? That's exactly what I'm going to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's lighthearted about it.
Yeah. And, I mean, if there's any season to miss, this is probably it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm expecting – okay, let's get this out of the way, Coach. Over, under, how many players – let's call it at least 10. How many players total in the NFL will fake an injury to not play in these COVID times? Over, under, 10.
Let's see. It depends on how bad it gets, but I'm gonna say if everything's going all right, I'll say under 10. But if there start being like some Miami Dolphins like breakouts or like Florida Marlin-esque breakouts, I'll say over 10. I will say,
I think that's fair.
The way baseball handled it, like it's honestly been all right. Like the sports have been going pretty well. The problem is just like football's such a contact heavy sport comparatively.
Yeah.
But
I don't know how they plan on keeping the bubble. I mean, they should just, I think everyone should just give up and just say, you know what, just be careful, good luck.
I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean that's all you can do. Like it's until we get a vaccine. I mean, this ain't the COVID podcast, but they can't realistically expect like sports. It's a weird microcosm in the world when we're talking about sports and this whole Backstreet Boys reunion tour situation, because it's like you can't stop. You're not gonna be able to stop the spread of it, and I think that it's silly to try to like keep everyone in a bubble or anything like that, because it's like, dude, like people got to go outside.
Yeah. I think it's, if it's something like basketball, it's a lot easier to keep people in a bubble where it's like you only have 10 people on a team. But this is like 53 players on a team, and there's 32 teams.
Not including staff, trainers, and everything else.
Yeah.
So
the best thing they can do is just kind of keep testing constantly, and I think that's what they're doing. I think they've developed it's like a saliva test now too, which is like faster or something. So that's at least helpful towards it.
They got that in the NBA, and it's a very, very short turnaround time. So, which is good. Yeah. I mean, if they can clear people, it's like, it's in a weird way, it's kind of the same as like concussion testing. Like if you get a concussion, you're minimum out for like a week or something like that, whatever the protocol is, and that's what this is going to be until we get a vaccine, I suppose. But that even then, I mean, it's just a virus. It's going to change itself.
Yeah. So I did hear one guy on the radio, and I was listening to sports radio. He's talking about how NASCAR's actually been doing pretty well, and that's probably one of the closest like contact things, surprisingly, because they have the crew teams and everyone's like working really close together on the crew and helping the cars and stuff. And he said they've actually like done it really well and been like fine. So he said that's on it, like ironically enough, like one of the most helpful things for the NFL is that the NASCAR has been succeeding.
Thank you, NASCAR.
Thanks, NASCAR.
Thanks for saving football.
And there's actually been college games as well, surprisingly.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, how are they doing that? But the NFL is tiptoeing around this whole thing.
I feel like the NFL's just sitting back watching everything.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah.
They get money anyway, so they don't really care about the fans being in the stands.
And I mean, honestly, I didn't miss the preseason. Preseason's fun to like be like, hey, football's back, but I don't really care about watching like an 8th stringer battle against a 5th stringer and then they both get cut anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, this just shows that we don't need a preseason at all.
Yeah,
like at all. Just give the teams 4 extra weeks of practicing and then start the season. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, I will say one of the things that'll probably be interesting is a lot of the rookies, like they're jumping straight into action. Like you're like, all right, here's your first game. It's an actual NFL game. So,
yeah, that's a little bit of
rough.
a culture shock there.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting. I'm sure it'll be even a little more sloppy than we're used to, because usually the first couple of weeks teams are like kind of all over the place, like bad snap, false starts, offsides, like all that stuff. So it might even be amplified a bit more. But
yeah,
I mean, they're still professional athletes. A lot of them are still out there doing.
I'm really interested to see how the referee situation is going to turn out with them not being in practice for a preseason.
Oh,
that's
yeah, that's a good point.
That's going to lead to some interesting calls.
Yeah, that's man. If only we had something like, I don't know, a sky judge. That would be great.
Or just use the cameras and have people who actually have working eyes to see that. Oh, that was pass interference, or oh, that wasn't.
No, we can't do that. That would be we just can't do it.
That's like using robotic umpires for baseball. We can't have that.
The technology just isn't there.
Somebody call Elon. We need robotic referees for the NFL, please.
Here's some fun stuff. The Buccaneers also got Leonard Fournette, who was cut by the Jaguars. So he also had a quote, "For the first time in my life, I actually have a quarterback." Low blow to the Jaguars quarterback situations. He's right, though.
I didn't see that. I didn't even see that.
Yep. How dare he insult Blake Bortles? The Blake Bortles. Unreal.
Yep. It's really, really strange how much of a year difference a year makes. Like Tampa went from, are we going to re-sign Jameis Winston, to it's a literal, people have been calling, I've seen it on the tabloids, people have been calling it a literal dream team now because they've got all these all-stars, and I didn't start seeing that. It wasn't very prevalent until Leonard Fournette signed, and everyone's like, dude, this is like the dream team in football. And I'm like, is this the Tampa Bay Buccaneers we're talking about? The heck?
You went from like a dumpster to like a trash can to like just shiny new like Rolex or something.
Yeah, it's like what the heck, man? Like we went from polished turd to actual gold now. Of course, we say that before the season's even started. So
yeah.
If there's one thing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have taught me is that's not to expect too much. And
if there's one thing the Cleveland Browns taught me from last year,
yeah,
don't believe the hype.
Yeah. And I'm kind of worried about that. I think it might be too much of a good thing in terms of talent, but you just never know. I mean, but on paper, the Bucks have been paper champions since they've been called paper champions way back in the day.
Yeah.
And this is the most paper champion-y team I think that we've ever had by far. But how that's going to translate on the field, of course, is just up in the air. Because I mean, Tom, I love me some Tom Brady. I got my Tom Brady jersey in, Coach. I think I already told you about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for it, but he's not indestructible. He's not perfect. He's lost games before,
Yeah, I mean, I think they're definitely gonna be a playoff contender. But how's their defense?
Our defensive line is stacked.
Okay.
Like absolutely stacked. I mean, I know that you're not a big fan of Sue, and I'm not either.
Yeah.
But like our team, our defense, our front four is going to be absolutely nightmarish to deal with. And on top of that, the Bucks didn't really improve our secondary all that much. I don't think anyway, unless there's a signing that I'm missing. But I will say that we have a much stronger team than last year for sure. I mean, we still have Shaq Barrett, of course, on the outside linebacker. And then we've got Antoine Winfield Jr. If you remember, he signed with the Bucks, so he's going to help out a lot. And then Jordan Whitehead is kind of, I mean, what?
What? Oh, you're roboting out. All right, there we go. We fixed the Discord.
So I don't know what you heard me last say, but the front line, it's not four, it's three. But we have Ndamukong Suh, Vita V, and William Golston for the front, and then we still have Shaq Barrett. We still have, and I talked about Antoine Winfield Jr. And then Jordan Whitehead as well, who's not as good as Winfield, but he's still pretty decent. So I mean, the Bucks are going to be, as long as everyone stays healthy, that's the big thing. If the front three stay healthy, we're going to be a real nightmare to deal with. But if we don't, then we really don't have a backup. That's the problem.
Huh. Yeah, I think it's going to be, I think they'll be good enough with like the offense that they have. Like I think the offense is going to carry them, but as long as it's like a bend don't break defense, you'll be all right. Like as long as you're not giving up like 40 points a game or something.
Don't forget we also have LaShawn McCoy as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. I almost forgot.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget, you also have Josh Rosen now.
Josh Rosen, coach.
Yep. And so we were always joking about how he'd go to the Patriots and be behind Tom Brady, but now he's behind Tom Brady with the Buccaneers. So, and Bruce Arians said he's happy to groom Josh Rosen.
Dude, I'm ready. I'm all for that.
Yeah, I mean,
let's begin the Brady era in Tampa.
This is the best situation for Josh Rosen. If he comes out of this like bad, then he's got no future.
Yeah, he's just bad then.
Yeah. Also, Clowney signed with the Titans after not signing for like years.
Yep.
So that's actually a really good signing for the Titans. That's going to help them a lot.
Yeah, they're gonna need it against the. I mean, the Texans didn't really make that many moves on the preseason or the offseason, did they?
I don't think they did. It's actually a good point. Well, they traded away DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, they traded away like the worst trade deal ever.
Yeah, and they have David Johnson. That was his name, right? From the Cardinals, who used to be good and now he's bad.
Yeah, David Johnson.
Yeah, so maybe he'll have some sort of rejuvenation, revitalization, or something. But you just traded away DeAndre Hopkins, man. Like,
and at the time of this recording, they play in less than just over 3 hours from now, Coach.
That they do. Let's see. Is there any updates on anything from there? Let's see. Nothing crazy. Denzel Mims limited with the Jets. DeAndre Swift limited. David Montgomery limited. It's just a lot of injury stuff. Nothing about the actual game coming up.
Yeah.
But I guess we could just start talking about the games. So let's discuss tonight's game, which is Texans Chiefs. What do you think of it? You don't have to pick someone yet. Just
Yeah, I'm not. We'll say that for Pickens. We are going to get Pickens out, by the way. So Hipponora, don't worry. We got Coach and I got you covered.
Yeah.
Of course, I can't speak for Bear and Rob, but
we'll yell at them.
Speak for us too. Yeah, we'll yell at them. I've been yelling at them for it. So
yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a tall order for the Texans to actually beat the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are just a better team. Plus, they're playing at home, and they're still going to be coming off the Super Bowl high. So I don't see how that they're going to be able to stop Patrick Mahomes, especially since the Texans defense hasn't really done a whole lot this offseason. But again, I don't keep up with the Texans.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they've beefed up anything, but I mean, you still got Pat Mahomes. He is only going to get better as he's in that offensive system, and I just don't think that they're going to have an issue. I think it's going to be pretty easy for him.
I almost forgot. It seems like years ago this happened, but the Texans Chiefs, that was where the Texans were up 24-0.
Yep.
And they blew it.
Yep. They pulled a Houston Oilers and lost it.
Yes, I mean, this could be the start of their redemption arc. Like, look past that, move on, win the game. But if they do win, I think this is going to be a Deshaun Watson, like, carried him, put the team on his back type of win. Like, that's the only way they can win this one.
But they don't have Hopkins, though. Is the thing.
Well, that is correct. Who are the Texans? The Texans receivers.
They've got Will Fuller the fifth, Brandon Cooks, Kenny Stills, and Randall Cobb.
They got Randall Cobb now.
They've got DeAndre Carter as well, and then two other people I don't remember. But like if you look at their lineup, like their offense is not. It's almost like a shell of what it was last year. But I mean, if anyone's proven how good a quarterback can take control of situations and actually carry the entire team, I mean, Pat Mahomes and Deshaun Watson both have done that. I would actually arguably say that Deshaun Watson's probably carried the Texans out of worser games than Pat Mahomes has had. But that's because they're just a worse. I mean, the Texans are just not as strong of a team.
Yeah, it's. I mean, they're like not bad receivers. It's just a bunch of like veteran kind of aged wide receivers.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks is good. Kenny Stills is still good. I don't know much about Fuller the fifth, so.
Yeah, Randall Cobb's honestly still pretty solid as like a slot guy.
Yeah, but then you look at the Chiefs, it's like
it's the Chiefs. They just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, like who's going to stop them? The Chiefs. They had all their. I believe that they had their pretty much everyone return all the big names anyway. They still got Tyreek Hill. They still got
J.J. Watt's healthy,
and Sammy Watkins was the other one I was thinking.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So I'm talking about the Chiefs, obviously, but it's the only place that the Chiefs really changed up was at the running back situation. They still have Travis Kelce. They still got, I think it's still the same front 4 line. So I mean, the Chiefs are going to be scary. I'm not saying they're going to be a repeat team, but
they'll be contending.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I will say the Texans do have J.J. Watt again healthy, which is like pretty solid. But I still think the Chiefs are just going to overpower them. But we'll see. Then we get to the big time game of the week, the Jets and the Bills.
Jets, Bills, Coach Rob has everything on the line for this one. It's going to be a slobber knocker slugfest for one for the ages.
Yep.
Which the Bills will probably win.
I'm going to definitely say the Bills are going to win this one. They go out on a limb.
Sorry, Rob.
It's at Buffalo as well. It's just that Buffalo defense is still good. Josh Allen now is this like Stephon Diggs. He has a real wide receiver to throw to. Their running game's still decent. And the Jets, the Jets are probably better than they were, but they're still not. I'd still put them like 6-10 for the year, 7-9 best.
Yeah, I think 6-10 is probably the best way to go for the Jets. Like that's, I'm not sure if we're officially doing record predictions for a season that might be scuffed, but so I think 6-10 is fair. I think that the Jets will definitely improve from last year, but They're
Yeah.
I worry about Sam Darnold and having that O line. I mean, hey, at least Darnold's got Flacco now. He can always fall back on.
Yeah, that's something.
And they've also got Frank Gore now too. So
Yeah, it's they also have C.J. Mosley,
Yep.
who is coming back.
Yep.
You know, that's one of their big signings last year. Yeah.
Like the only person I recognize from their depth chart is Jamison Crowder. That's it. Rashad Perlman, I'm not sure of, and then they're back like Denzel Mims and Braxton Berrios is like
Denzel Mims is
Burlock,
a rookie they drafted,
yeah.
but even he's got a hamstring or something.
Yeah.
And Le'Veon Bell. Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course. I was talking about the receivers.
Yeah.
But yeah, the
Wait, Brashad Perryman. I think he used to be with the Bears. Did he? Perryman. He's with Tampa Bay.
yeah, he was with the Bucks for I think a couple seasons.
He was with them for one.
It was last year, right?
Yep, last year.
Okay.
And Chris Hogan was with the Bills and the Cowboys.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean,
He was with the Panthers and the Patriots.
Patriots. That's who he was with. I'm thinking of someone
Last
else.
year he played for Carolina, and then he played 3 seasons with the Patriots, and before that was 3 seasons with the Bills. He signed with the Bills. That's where you got that from.
I see. Okay. It's
Yeah, I still don't know him.
yeah. So I mean, that's the Jets. It's the Jets. Then we got Packers Vikings. Here's a game I'm ready for.
This is going to be a pretty good game, and honestly, like a good metric for what the rest of the season is going to look like for the NFC North.
Oh yeah.
I think that the Packers. It's good. I think it's going to be a great game, to be honest.
Hmm. It's going to be good. I mean, the Vikings are probably the team we're going to be competing with. The Lions are kind of a wild card team. They could be up there, but it's Packers Vikings is very similar. So, like, they're both, playoff teams. They're both coming off playoff seasons. They're both veteran quarterbacks. They both have good running games. They both have solid defense. Like, it's pretty evenly matched.
I mean, we always say every year that Detroit's going to be a wild card, and then they're just not. It comes down to the Packers and the Vikings 100% of the time, unless the Bears decide to get a wild hair about them.
Detroit always has that, like, hey, guys, we're being competitive, and then, like, Matt Stafford breaks his back. Their running game, like, dissolves, and they're just like, we lost.
He loses a leg, and one of his arms falls off.
It's all, They always have a thing. They always have some sort of Lions thing happen to them.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the Vikings, they really haven't changed that much since last year. They still got basically almost everyone. They still have Dalvin Cook, who's a scary. He's one scary individual.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Cousins, of course, Rob's uncle. He loves him. They're looking solid. I think that they didn't make that many moves on defense either.
Yeah.
From what I can tell, anyway.
I think I'm pretty excited with the Packers. Pretty much the same team, but now they got A.J. Dillon, who has the tree trunk legs.
Yep.
All the Smith brothers are back, and they got Rashawn Gary. I'm hoping he makes another step and becomes like another good pass rusher. So we'll have 3 solid pass rushers, which is
you got Mercedes Lewis too now. Who's
we've had him for a few years. He's a solid, just veteran run blocker. Makes a couple catches.
Wasn't he injured though?
No, he'd just be like a backup. He's behind Jeremy or whatever Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham, that's
Jimmy
right.
Graham, yeah,
that's right.
I mean, I think our defense is even pretty solid too. We got Clark in the middle, decent secondary. Like, I'm pretty happy with our roster, and I think the Packers are going more towards a run-first offense. So it's going to be interesting just to see that play out, especially in LaFleur's second year of using the system.
You got Darius Smith coming back as well for his second year. So he's a solid outside linebacker.
Yeah, no, he was like playing at MVP tiers last year, so I'm excited to watch him too. And then I want to see Aaron Rodgers if he learned anything, because he kept being like, dude, I watched my 2010 tape again and I fixed my problems. I'm like, all right, let's see it. Let's see what happens. But should be good. I'm ready, and it's gonna be a good battle.
Yep.
Then we have the Eagles taking on the Washington football team.
Oh boy.
Yep.
That, Coach, if you've ever wanted to say that is definitely a football game, then here it is, because you've got a football team playing a football game.
You sure do. Uh,
just reading the name on the headline just makes you laugh. Washington football team.
I still can't get over it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's
So
I guess the Eagles will win. Did they fix their wide receivers?
I don't believe so.
They have Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson still, I guess.
Well,
But they got Marquise Goodwin. Then they drafted Jalen Reagor.
yeah, and then Zach Ertz is still okay with them. So he, yeah, I mean the Deshaun Jackson didn't really have that great of a season last year.
Yeah.
I believe pretty sure he got injured, but going over just reading the roster for the Washington football team just plays out just as it's chef's kiss, I would say.
I typed in football team roster and it brought up all NFL team rosters. Not what I'm looking for.
Well, they basically only have like Dwayne Haskins and then Steve Sims Jr. It's basically it.
Yeah. Alex Smith's back, and they got Chase Young they just drafted.
Yeah, Alex Smith is listed third behind Kyle Allen, though.
Yeah. Wait, they have Ronald Darby, Montez Sweat from last year. You know what? This is a solid football team that I think could put up 3 wins this year.
It is definitely a football team, Coach.
Yeah. They're not going to be good.
But don't worry, it says no distractions, no doubts on their team banner. No name but team.
Yeah, I got my doubts still.
Eagles are going to just destroy them.
Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens.
Ooh, the Brown rivalry.
Yep. Browns rosters, I think the same as last year for the most part. Kareem Hunt's playing. Austin Hooper they got. That's actually pretty good signing.
Yep.
They got Donovan Peoples-Jones. The Peoples-Jones.
Yeah, that's their receiving core is just basically OBJ and that's it. They've got Jarvis Landry as well. And he was okay last year. I think he caught 6 touchdowns, something like that. So, it's as long as they can keep Baker's mouth shut, then maybe they'll get to 6-10 again, maybe if they're lucky.
Yeah.
But I can tell you one thing: if there was ever a lock, Coach, it'd be this one. The Ravens they're just gonna just murder them.
Yeah,
totally murder them.
Especially after losing in the playoffs last year, I think they're out for blood. They're coming back this year with a vengeance.
Yeah, Lamar is gonna just run all over him, and then they've got the what's his name RG3 backing him up.
Oh yeah, they've got
RG3,
the high-powered running offense where they can just run with literally everyone.
Yep. Yep.
And then their defense is still good. So I mean, Ravens are gonna win this one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Colts Jaguars.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of either of these teams, like at all. But I think it might be closer. How many moves did the Jags do in the offseason?
They got rid of Leonard Fournette.
Well, yeah.
I think they got rid of more players than they brought in.
They've still got they've got the Minshew.
Yeah, they still got the Minshew.
And then they've got...
There's got to be somebody on the Jaguars roster. They still have a decent defense, I think.
They've got Chris Conley and DJ Chark Jr.
Oh, yeah, DJ Chark's actually pretty solid. And then they brought in Tyler Eifert, I forgot, from the Bengals.
Yep.
He's really good.
Yep.
So, I mean, they might... I think they can be competitive. I just don't think they're going to be great.
Well, I mean, they've got I think Robinson just got signed this year, right? He was a rookie this year, I think.
Uh
The backup for Fournette.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the jury's kind of still out as far as their offense, but the defense. Jacksonville's defense was still pretty decent.
Yeah.
Last year. In fact, I think they lead the NFL in the first like 3 or 4 weeks, something like that.
They might. I mean, they have a lot of high draft picks on their defense.
Yeah.
The Colts, however, they got Phillip Rivers now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the
The
Indianapolis
river runs-
Chargers ready to get to work.
It runs through Indianapolis, coach. Phillip Rivers taking one. I mean, it's gonna be. I'm actually stoked to see how he performs on a different team.
I am too.
To see if he was actually like playing Phillip Rivers ball, or if it's actually just the team that he had in San Diego forever.
Yeah, I mean, they traded for DeForest Buckner from the 49ers. They still have like Darius Leonard. They have Quentin Nelson on the line.
T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah, they signed
Still there.
Xavier Rhodes from the Vikings. Even though he's kind of older, but I mean, they have Justin Houston still. He's a solid pass rusher. I mean, they're still a pretty good team. They were competing for the playoffs last year. I think Colts they'll be a competitor. I think they're pretty good. I think they're gonna beat the Jaguars here. But
yeah, for sure. I think that the Jaguars defense might give him a little bit of trouble, but it's still like if Rivers just goes. I mean, whenever Phillip Rivers goes off, he goes off.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking he's probably going to want to try to make some pretty, I think poignant moves, pretty big plays, just to set the tone for the rest of the season, to show that like, he can still do what he did in San Diego back when he was like looking good in San Diego, but for a different team. So it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to actually watching him play.
Yeah. Then we've got the Raiders at Panthers. The Raiders are just, it feels like they did a Madden fantasy draft or something. They got Derek Carr still. They drafted Henry Ruggs in like the first round. Then they have Mariota as their backup. They have Jason Witten as their tight end.
Yeah.
They still have Hunter Renfrow. They've got Corey Littleton they got from the Rams. They have Aguilar from the Eagles.
Aguilar.
They have Kwiatkowski from the Bears, who's pretty solid. Zay Jones. Like, it legit just feels like a fantasy draft.
I can't believe that Incognito is still playing.
Oh, yeah, I can't either. I thought he'd be out of the league by now.
Oh, no, he's still starting.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a bad player. He's just a bad person.
Yeah, he's a bad person. But the Panthers they've got Teddy now at the helm.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. So they have Bridgewater. I mean, that's a solid quarterback to go with McCaffrey.
Yeah, and in comparison to Incognito, an actual good dude.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't think they're a bad team either, but I think they're going to get overpowered by the rest of the NFC South.
Yeah, I mean, with the Bucs the way they are, it's going to be difficult for either Carolina or Atlanta to go past them and the Saints. It's just it's going to be a Bucs Saints 1-2, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Then we got Bears Lions. Woo.
Dinger.
Now I can tell you about the Bears as somebody has to listen to the Bears radio.
All right.
Bears fans wanted Nick Foles to start, but they're going with Trubisky.
Really?
And yes, and part of the reason Dave Wanstead was actually talking about it. He was like, well, more Dave Wanstead. He was like, well, you got Trubisky, you got Foles. Well, you got to start Trubisky. You got to start him. Yeah, I mean, the kid's, he's just trying to play out there. He's learning. You got Foles. You know what he can do. So if you play Trubisky, he starts playing bad. You take him out. You put Foles in. But if you do it the other way around, the kid's mentality, he's going to be ruined. That's what he said.
He's wrecked for the rest of the season.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, yeah, it's a fair point.
They still have Allen Robinson in the second. They've got Jimmy Graham now, so,
Okay, so Allen Robinson, I think, is like one of the best receivers in the league, and it sucks that he has to play with Bortles and then like Chicago Bortles.
Yeah.
But Jimmy Graham is not good. I've watched him for 2 years now. I was very excited when we signed Jimmy Graham. I'm like, yeah, dude, he's playing with Aaron Rodgers. All this. He's slow. He can
dunk a basketball, coach.
He can dunk a basketball and he can run a route, but he can't do it very fast anymore. And he also can't catch the ball anymore because he used to make crazy one-handed catches, and he dropped probably like 4 of them last year. So I'm glad he's off our team, and I'm glad the Bears decided to pick him up and pay him too much money. I will say the Bears' defense is good. They got Khalil Mack still. They got Robert Quinn. They signed. Their secondary is actually a little worse. Eddie Jackson's good, but like they've lost a lot of corner play. They lost Prince Amukamara. Their linebackers, they got Roquan Smith still, Akeem Hicks on the line. Like their line and linebackers are good, and then Eddie Jackson safety, but the other members of the secondary are bad.
Yeah, I mean, with the Bears, like it's just going to be another defensive. It's just the same defensive team.
Yeah,
like they got. But if Mac goes off, then maybe the offense has a better chance here because I don't know. If I had to go between Trubisky or Foles, I would definitely start Nick Foles. That's just if I was the coach, that's what I'd be doing.
I definitely would too. Plus, I believe the Bears placed their kicker Eddie Pinheiro on the IR, so they are now kicking with Cairo Santos, who I know he played with the Dolphins. Who did he play with? He was with Tennessee last year, and he made 1 of 3.
Yep.
Then he was with Tampa Bay and the Rams in 2018. And then he was with Kansas City. Then he was with Chicago. Then he was with Tampa Bay again, all in 2017. Then he was with Kansas City 3 years in a row before that, and he was actually he's okay. Actually, he was all right. So I'm expecting some more failed field goals because that's just what happens to the Bears.
I mean, on the opposite end, you've got as far as offense goes, Stafford and Amendola is like still a pretty solid connection. I mean, he had Amendola's in terms of like overall yardage, it was the second best, second only to when he was on the Rams in 2010. Yeah. And I think that Stafford can still play. Like he's still a good quarterback. It's just he doesn't have any weapons around him normally. And I mean, I would say that out of these two, I would be surprised if the Lions lost, or if the Lions won. I mean, no,
really?
Yeah, no, I'd be surprised if the Lions lost.
Yeah,
that way. I think that Detroit's going to win, but I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game.
No, I think the Lions are actually a bit underrated. I think they're better than the Bears. The Bears' offensive line's also kind of not great, and so I think the Lions also added some pretty solid defensive players. They drafted Jeff Okudah at their top pick. Then they brought in Desmond Trufant at corner. They also have Jamie Collins and Duron Harmon from the Patriots, so they're bringing in Patriot defenders who know how to play football.
Yep.
So I honestly think they're gonna be a solid football team. They might not be like one of the best teams, but they're gonna compete with anybody, and so I think they can beat the Bears.
Do you see AP taking over Kerryon Johnson's job within the first 6 weeks?
Yes. I hope not, because he's on my fantasy team. But I could see it happening, mainly because the dude just gets hurt. He's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. But they drafted a DeAndre Swift, but he's been hurt.
Yep.
So it wouldn't surprise me if Adrian Peterson starts taking it, especially if he plays the Vikings. He's going to be like, yo, let me in.
Yeah, I think the Lions take this one, but it won't be a high scoring game.
Yeah. Seahawks, Falcons. Two of your favorite teams.
I'm not a fan of the Falcons, and I definitely hate the Seahawks. I don't have anyone I'm rooting for here, but I think that if the Falcons want to get ahead of the competition and try to stay relevant in the NFC South, they have got to win this game, because if they don't, I mean, they're good luck catching the Bucs and the Saints. I mean, they are playing in Atlanta. Are they playing in Atlanta? I think they are.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. So if there was a time for them to set like a tone for the season, now is the time, because week one is going to basically determine the NFC South with the Bucs playing the Saints. I know that I'm talking about the Bucs a lot, but it's it's relevant. It's the top two in the NFC
Yeah.
South going up against each other. That's just going to be it for the division.
I will say last year the Falcons were like one of the most beat up teams in football. They had injuries everywhere. So I think getting a lot of those players back, plus they signed Todd Gurley, who I'm taking another flyer on in fantasy.
I don't know why, but
he can't let me down twice. He can't do it.
You keep walking into that wasp nest, Coach. I don't know. We can't stop you. We try to give you one of those beekeeping uniforms, but he refuses.
No. It's got to work out this time. They also signed Hayden Hurst from the Ravens, who's a decent tight end, and they signed
that's right,
Dante Fowler on defense. I mean, I think that they remind me of like the Lions of the South. Like they might be there and they might give teams some problems, but I don't know if they're going to be in first place.
Yeah. So. I mean, Calvin Ridley's he's a pretty decent. Like their wide receiving core is not terrible at all. Like Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley is a powerful 1-2. I just don't know if like how long can Matty Ice hold up?
Yeah,
you know.
Plus, he's going against Russell Wilson, who is literally carrying the Seahawks every week. And Josh Gordon's coming back to them apparently.
Yep.
I don't know if he's gonna get suspended again or whatever, but I guess he's back. DK Metcalf.
They still got Metcalf as well.
Yep. And they got Jamal Adams on the defense.
Jamal Adams.
So, I mean, the
what
Seahawks,
can't he do?
As long as they have Russell Wilson, they're going to be competitive. So, that'll be something.
I don't see how Atlanta beats them, though. I really don't.
Yeah. Now, this is going to sound weird, but Dolphins, Patriots, and believe it or not, I don't know who's going to win this one. This is crazy. This feels
sorry,
weird.
Bear. Sorry if you're listening, Bear. Yeah, this is going to be a very fun game to watch, I think. Like, I think that the Patriots are still going to win, but it's not a lock of the week, that's for sure. I can tell you that.
Yeah. I mean, Cam Newton, Sonny Michel, and I guess Julian Edelman are their offense now.
Yep.
I mean, their defense is still better, but like they've lost a decent amount of defensive players. I mean, if you look at the Dolphins, you still got Fitzmagic, Devontae Parker, Jordan Howard, like pretty solid veteran players. Their defense has gotten better. I mean, and in fact, they have Kyle Van Noy, another ex-Patriot, at linebacker. I mean,
except he's hurt.
Oh, he's hurt.
Yeah. He's hurt. Edelman's hurt as well, actually.
Oh, well, I
think Tua's hurt too.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got like a hip thing, doesn't he?
I think he's getting better from it, though. I thought.
Okay. Well, he's not starting either way.
Yeah, he's not starting. So.
Yeah.
They have Matt Breida too. I forgot. Oh yeah, he does have a hip issue. I just Googled it.
Okay.
So, we'll see. But I mean, that's gonna be a close one.
I still think the Patriots are going to win. And these are not our official pick'ems, by the way. But I still think they're going to win. But it's not a lock like it would have been last year.
Yeah. Chargers, Bengals.
The Bengals.
And the Chargers don't have Phillip Rivers. They have Justin Herbert and Tyrod Taylor.
That's going to be real weird seeing a Phillip Riverless Chargers.
Yeah, I will say the Chargers defense is still very good.
Yep.
They still have a lot of good players. They got Derwin James at safety. You got Chris Harris Jr. from the Broncos. You got Joey Bosa. You got Linval Joseph, Casey Hayward. They actually signed Brian Bulaga onto their offensive line. Really good offensive lineman when he's not hurt. Melvin Ingram on defense. Like, their defense is actually really good, but the quarterback situation.
Yeah, I mean, Tyrod Taylor or Herbert is. I mean, it's just take a dartboard and just throw a dart at one of them, and you're gonna. There's your starting quarterback for the season.
Yeah,
but I think that I honestly I think this is gonna be a tougher matchup for LA just because they've got to get kind of used to this whole riverless thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the Bengals didn't really change a whole lot. Plus, they've got AJ Green coming back now.
Well,
so
they got Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, coach.
The Joe Burrow era begins. Either this is either going to be like, oh my God, the second coming of like the great quarterback. It's like their Bengals Peyton Manning or something, or it's just going to be like the Josh Rosen situation. It's going one or the other. There's no in between.
I mean, he does kind of remind me of Baker, but he's way more subdued than Baker was.
Yeah.
Season.
He seems like he's a far more chill, better person.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm curious. I want to see how it plays out. Tyrod Taylor is apparently getting the start, but I would like to see Justin Herbert play, but I guess he's not ready yet.
Yeah.
Then we've got Cardinals 49ers, which I think is actually be a pretty good game.
You know, I think that San Francisco is going to be they're going to have a tough time with Arizona. The Cardinals were looking for towards the end of last year. We saw signs of hope.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've still got Fitzgerald coming back. They've still obviously got Kyler Murray, and now they've got DeAndre Hopkins. So it's a pretty stacked team over there. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean they were going toe for toe with the 49ers and they were playing them.
Yeah.
They still have Chandler Jones on defense, one of the best pass rushers.
I mean, Garoppolo's only got he's got Debo, and who's on the other side? What's the name of the other? Kendrick Bourne. That's right.
Yeah,
I was gonna
say
he's got a last name like a movie superhero.
Yeah,
like that.
Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah. Kendrick Bourne.
They did lose Matt Breida, so they still have Mostert and they have Coleman. So they are down a running back now. Oh, and they have Jerick McKinnon, I guess. But that's the thing is they're gonna run the ball. They're gonna run and run and try to run you down and play good defense. But we'll see how well that works this year because it worked great last year. But now everyone's had a year to kind of analyze them, and some roster moves happen, and let's see.
Yep.
Then we got the Buccaneers Saints.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers coach.
Why is this not a Sunday night game?
I don't know. It definitely should have been in the flex for sure.
Yeah.
Because everyone in the world is going to be watching this game. Everybody. And that's such a weird thing to say being a Bucs fan. But I think the hype levels have officially reached fever pitch around the NFL for Tom and the Bucs. And I'm preparing myself for the heartbreak. I remember saying last year that I won't hype myself up for a Jameis Winston led Buccaneers, but this is not a Jameis Winston led Buccaneers. Obviously, it's Tom Brady led Buccaneers, and we've got so many names on both sides of the ball that if we end up going 5-11, I'm just done with football. I'm just done.
Like this team should be stacked. You've got Brady, you've got Gronk, you've got OJ Howard, you've got Mike Evans. Although I think Mike Evans has been dealing with an injury, from what I was reading.
He's got a hamstring thing.
But even then, you still got Chris Godwin. They got McCoy. You got Fournette. This team looks stacked. Shaquille Barrett on defense.
This is my perfect analogy. This is my own original analogy. I'm just taking credit for it right now. This team looks like your fantasy team from 5 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This looks like a really well drafted fantasy team.
Oh yeah, it does.
A couple years ago.
Just throw Todd Gurley in there.
Yeah, and Todd Gurley, of course. If it was coaches, I would never draft him, but I'm just saying. The Bucs are gonna be real tough, and the Saints, the Saints have I think they lost a couple receivers. They still have Emmanuel Sanders, which I think
Michael Thomas.
Yeah. I think that I think Sanders is going to be a problem for the Bucs. Just because I don't think they've ever played him before.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a high scoring game, honestly. Not a blowout, but I think it's going to be 35 to 32 or something.
Yeah, I was going to say 35-28, something like that.
Yeah.
But you just never know because like the Buccaneers defense is just so scary up front, like really, really solid up front, and I'm excited. I gotta say, I think that Pierre-Paul is still injured right now. I'm not sure if he's going to play or not, but the the with the way that the Bucs are looking offensively, it's the defense should have like that's a lot of pressure getting taken off of their shoulders now that we don't have to worry about old toss him up Jameis over there. And I wonder what do you think will happen? Just hypothetically, what do you think will happen if Brady goes out there and throws a pick six in the first pass of the game?
I will message you on Discord and say Tom Winston. That would be fun.
Even if that happens, I still am happier with Brady than I am with Winston.
Yeah, at least you know what he can do. You've seen him do it for years.
Yeah, I mean it's in his pedigree. He's got the resume to back it up. So we'll give him a pass on that. But if Tom Brady throws for more than 30 interceptions in the season, that's another stipulation for me to just being done with football.
This is why they're not Sunday night, because the Cowboys are.
Woo!
Cowboys Rams.
Yay, Cowboys, Rams.
Yay. So, the Cowboys, now led by Mike McCarthy.
Yep.
Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, who's a running back I have in fantasy because I missed my first pick and it auto-drafted. CeeDee Lamb. I'll still always remember CeeDee Lamb for just yanking his phone away from his girlfriend or whatever that was.
Yep.
They got Amari Cooper still. They have Aldon Smith on defense. I forgot. That's a name I haven't heard in a while. Everson Griffin from the Vikings. You got Michael Gallup. I mean, they have a decent team. You got Sean Lee, Jalen Smith, but it's still the Cowboys, and I don't trust Mike McCarthy as well.
Yeah, there's some old wounds that need to be mended there for you for sure. I think that honestly, I can definitely see the Rams just winning this game, just flat out just winning.
Yeah.
I think that Jared Goff has probably grown a lot over the offseason. And I think that I don't know if they're going to end up taking the division, but they're definitely going to be in the running for it.
Yeah.
Like they've got Robert Woods and Reynolds, and they've also got what's his name, Cooper Kupp.
Yeah,
as
Cooper
well.
Kupp.
So
they drafted Cam Akers, who looks like he'll be a pretty good running back.
That's right.
And Aaron Donald on defense.
Yep.
And they just signed Jalen Ramsey to some mega deal. Actually, a huge mega deal. It's like 5 years, $120 million or something.
It's not a mega death, that's for sure. That's a much different signing, coach.
It sure is. So I mean, this is the Sunday night game, so I guess I'll be watching it.
There's nothing else on it. You knew that they were going to put the Cowboys on there.
Yep. They're up there in the power rankings every week. You got to have them on Sunday night.
Yep. And don't worry, coach. The power rankings are coming soon.
Oh boy. Man, you just really want to watch those 8-8 football teams. So it's prime time.
I mean, I think that out of the two, the least likely to be 8-8 is definitely going to be the Cowboys. I think that I don't think that they're gonna be that great this year, but yeah, they still have they still have a solid receiving core. I mean, Amari Cooper, you can't go wrong with him,
Yeah.
And it just comes. Oh yeah, Dalton's with the Cowboys. He's backing up
Dalton
Dak.
him up. Yep. I just don't trust Mike McCarthy. I just think his system's archaic. Maybe he's improved it. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. I mean, he has had a year to work on everything, but we will see. I mean, I could see him going like 9-7, 10-6 if everything goes right for him.
Yeah,
but
I guess
they'll probably be competing with the Eagles for first again.
Stranger things have happened, coach.
Yep. And speaking of the NFC East, the Giants host the Steelers on Monday night.
Yeah, that's gonna be a very interesting game that the Steelers will probably win. Question mark?
The Giants they were all right last year. I mean, Daniel Jones looked good. Saquon Barkley's amazing.
Yep.
I guess they signed Logan Ryan on defense. They have Darius Slayton wide receiver. They have Golden Tate still. I mean, I don't know. The Giants. Again, comparing teams to the Lions, I feel like the Giants are like a Detroit Lions almost. Well, maybe even a little worse.
Yeah, I'd say a little bit worse.
Yeah, like they don't have a good quarterback. Well, like I think he will be good. He still needs to improve. He needs to stop fumbling the ball. I think their offensive line needs to get better. They still have some holes, but I don't know. The Steelers are back fully healthy. Roethlisberger will be back. You got Juju still. T.J. Watt on defense. Like Minka Fitzpatrick.
Delonte Johnson starting on the right side I think that the Steelers are going to be much stronger than they were last year.
Yeah.
Especially with that defense now coming back and Big Ben, if he stays healthy, like he's got a solid receiving core to throw to.
Yeah.
By the way, I also love how the Steelers have the repeating first name receivers trend going right now. They got Juju, now they also have Ray.
Juju and Ray.
Yep. The 1-2.
I love it.
Double.
Yeah, I think the Steelers will be good now that they have their quarterback situation's a bit more solidified. And then we finally have the Broncos and the Titans, which I think the Titans are going to win this one. But
what's going on in Denver? What do they have? What kind of weapons do they have in Denver, Coach?
All right, the weapons. They have Von Miller. They have Drew Lock. They have Melvin Gordon and Phillip Lindsay, which, I mean, they're pretty solid running backs. They've got Bradley Chubb still. I mean, Chubb's a solid pass rusher. Noah Fant at tight end. I mean, Noah Fant's good. They got Jarrell Casey, who was the defensive tackle for the Titans last year. He's pretty solid. And then Cortland Sutton, KJ Hamler, Justin Simmons. Like,
what do they have for offense?
That's it. I don't know. I think the Broncos, will be a decent team. I think they're like a 7-win team, 6-win team, but the Titans are just Derrick Henry's gonna run them over.
Yeah, he is just scary. And then they got Tannehill and AJ Brown and Adam Humphries. Oof.
Yeah,
Corey Davis as well. Yeah,
and they added Clowney on defense. I mean, they got a pass rush now, and their defense is still solid. Aside from that, like they still have some good players: Malcolm Butler, Kevin Byard. So I mean, I see the Titans just winning this one.
I think the Titans are probably the front runners in terms of the AFC South. I think that they've got the Texans number for sure, and then it really comes down to how well Rivers plays in Indianapolis.
Yeah,
basically, that's going to be the kicker of that entire division, really.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we power rank it?
It's time for the power rankings, Coach. NFL power rankings, NFL.com, the Bible of the internet. I know that everyone's been waiting for it, and I know especially Coach Crendor's been waiting for it because we've got ourselves a humdinger. Coach, now you're solo today, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of a pass on this.
All right.
But if you can you name the top 5 of the NFL power rankings on NFL.com power rankings, Coach?
Top 5. We're going 49ers.
Yep.
We're going Ravens.
Yep.
We're going.
I think Super Bowl winners, Coach.
Chiefs.
Yep. That's 3. Now the last 2 are gonna be a little bit tougher, especially one of them.
All right, I'm gonna go Saints.
Yep.
And
if you get this one, I'll give you a Buffalo nickel.
Oh boy, Seahawks.
Nope. You get one more guess.
Cowboys.
No, it's the Tennessee Titans coming in at number 5 with the Chiefs going number 1, 49ers 2, Ravens 3, Saints at the 4th position, and then the Tennessee Titans rounding out the 5. Now, somehow, some way, the Bills are number 6 on the top 10 here. I'm not exactly sure why. Dan has been sipping the crazy sauce, I guess, or something like that.
I'd have them in the top 10. I don't know about 6.
Yeah, I would say 10th would be the highest that I would have them. But here we go, Coach. This one's gonna be, oh boy, here we go.
All right.
Coach Crandor, true or false? The Dallas Cowboys are ranked above the Green Bay Packers in the power rankings on the NFL Power Rankings.com Power Rankings.
It's gonna be true.
It is absolutely correct. The Cowboys sitting at the 7th position in the power rankings above the number 8 Green Bay Packers.
We were in the NFC Championship game. Sure, we got blown out, but it's the championship. We got there.
Coach, you can't argue with it. It's the power rankings here. You just got to go with it. The Dallas Cowboys starting the season at number 7, which will undoubtedly be their lowest rank for the entire season, as we know that they're going to be going up to number 1. Yep. Whereas the Packers are ranked 8th, and what the reporter says, or what the Aaron Rodgers report says, he told reporters last week he's used this bizarre pandemic year of 2022, quote, find his center a little bit. He said that his period of isolation and self-introspection has provided him with an extremely healthy perspective on football and life. You can say this awakening comes at a pretty convenient time for Rodgers, who's about to enter the most pivotal year of his football life. He won't say it, but the 36-year-old Rodgers knows he has to do better than the efficient but not so special plays put on tape for the last 2 years, and he's secretly harboring bitterness towards the Packers for the decision to draft a quarterback in the first round. There's no better way to stick it to the organization than deliver a vintage season that makes their impending quarterback decision as agonizing as possible. Can't you see it?
I'm telling you, they drafted him just to light the fire under Rodgers.
I agree with that. So, and then rounding out the top 10, Seattle number 9 and the Vikings number 10. Both of those teams easily, in my opinion, rankable above the Cowboys, but
yes,
I don't make
very much so.
Now, Rob isn't here, so Coach, you got to take over for Rob as well. Right. True or false, Coach? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are ranked above the New England Patriots.
New England
Patriots.
Yeah, I'd say that's true.
That is correct. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers starting at lucky number 13 on the power rankings. And our good writer, really he's our pastor.
Yeah.
This is coming from Dan Hanzus of the NFL.com Power Rankings, NFL.com Power Rankings Bible, the Internet Power Rankings.
Call me crazy, but I'd rank them above the Cowboys as well.
He said, love the imagery coming from our buddy Kyle Brandt, who likened the Bucs' relentless acquisition of name brand talent to the roster construction by Vincent McMahon from a bygone era. We know a lot of these guys, Leonard Fournette and Josh Rosen being the latest arrivals, but how confident should we be in this veteran stew actually turning into something delicious for the Bucs and their fans? All we can say is that certainly the Tampa Bay gets our vote for 2020 training camp champion. Big names on the marquee, no serious injuries, and pretty much nothing but glowing reports for a month. Bruce Arians and Jason Licht nailed March through August. Now we get to see how those things go when it truly matters. And then the Patriots, they're not all the way halfway down. They're close. Ranking, they round out the top 15. The Texans coming in at 16th, and then the top 20: Rams, Falcons, Browns, and Raiders. Now, finally, Coach, before we wrap this one up here, true or let's not even go with the true or false. Let's just get your opinion on this.
All right.
If you had to guess, the one team that would be ranked below the Washington football team, who would you pick?
I'd probably pick
because there's one team that has been ranked below the Washington football team inexplicably.
Is it the?
I'll give you another hint.
Bengals?
It is not the Bengals. The Bengals actually start at 27. I'll give you one more hint. It's a team that very recently lost a very marquee player.
Is it
to the Bucs?
Oh, it's the Jaguars. All right.
It is indeed the Jaguars. The team that was one bad call away from making the Super Bowl has now been taken down to the studs. The demolition was completed in the past week with a trade of Yannick Ngakoue and Leonard Fournette, 2 stars during Jacksonville's run to the AFC Championship game in 2017. Fournette's release leaves a backfield particularly barren. Who will get the touches back there? Raquel Armstead's back on the COVID-19 reserve list. An undrafted rookie, James Robinson. If you recall, Coach Crandor and I briefly talked about James Robinson. Truly answer the bell. Divine Ozugbo, Chris Thompson. The fullback guy is named Bruce Miller, who spent the last 4 years out of football. everything is fine, period. And that is it for the 2020 inaugural edition, week 1 of the Power Rankings. Back up to Coach and Coach in the coach booth. Coach. Da-da-dun, da-da-dun.
Woo! Well, I guess that means it's time for pick'ems.
Pick'ems, 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 pick'ems.
Pick'ems. Pick'ems.
Bear taffy, pick'ems.
There we go. Yeah, we don't need them. Look at that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, tonight's game, Texas Chiefs. Who you got?
I got Chiefs, Coach.
I got Chiefs as well. Jets, Bills. Who you got?
I got Bills, Coach.
I got Bills as well. Packers, Vikings.
I got Packers, Coach.
I got Packers as well.
All right.
Eagles versus football team.
Give me the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I'll take the Eagles. Ravens, Browns.
Gonna lock in the Baltimore Ravens, Coach. Locking them in. First lock of the season.
I'll go Ravens without a lock. Colts, Jaguars.
Give me the Colts.
I'll take Colts as well. Raiders, Panthers.
Ooh, man. Gonna be tough.
It's going to be tough.
I hate to say it. Maybe I don't hate to say it. I'm going to go on a limb and say the Raiders.
All right, yeah. I mean, I was going to pick the Raiders too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I thought you were going to be like, I'm going to go on a limb and pick the McCaffreys. Which,
no.
I mean, I'd say like this is like a 60% win for the Raiders. I think there's a 40% chance they get out McCaffrey.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Ravens offense is just better. It's just going to be better than the Carolina offense.
Yeah.
So give me the Raiders.
All right. Bears, Lions.
This one's also kind of tough. I would be surprised if the Lions lost, so I got to go Lions.
Yeah, I'm going Lions as well.
All right, good. I'm glad to hear that we're deviating so much from each other so far.
Seahawks, Falcons.
Give me the Seahawks.
I'm gonna, you know what? Screw it. I'll take the Falcons.
Oh my God!
Gotta mix it up.
Coach is doing it.
I need a way to just somehow get ahead early on, and this might be
Enjoy being behind by a game, Coach.
it. All right. Dolphins, Patriots.
I know that everyone wants me to go meme here. I know that everyone wants me to pick the Dolphins, but I just can't. Not in Foxborough. Not on opening day. I'm sorry.
Give me the Miami Dolphins.
He's doing it. Coach is taking the crazy juice.
Let's
oh
go.
my God.
Miami Dolphins.
Oh man.
Chargers, Bengals.
Again, this one's kind of tough because neither out of the two teams that have changed the least, the Bengals have changed probably slightly less than the Chargers. At home against a new, I get not really new offense, just a new team in general. With the Chargers, I think I gotta go Bengals maybe.
I'm gonna go Chargers just for that defense.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, I'll stick with my initial gut here and go Cincinnati, but I do think the Chargers will probably win.
Yeah.
But you never know. You never know.
Cardinals, 49ers.
Give me the Niners, Coach.
I'm taking the Cardinals. Let's go.
He's taking the Cardinals.
Let's
at
go.
home against 49ers. I mean, against the 49ers at home is what I meant.
Yeah. As Dan Giesling says, they've got some ball players on that team.
They do indeed have football players, Coach.
Buccaneers, Saints.
I mean, you already know who I'm picking.
That is true. We already know.
Who are you picking?
Honestly, I'm going in with the Buccaneers. I'm aboard, and if they lose, I'm off the Bucs train. But for now, I'm all aboard.
Welcome aboard the Tampa Bay Buccaneers train, Coach. We've got lovely refreshments for you in the cart. Just mind the roaches.
All right, fantastic. Cowboys, Rams. I'm going Rams.
Yeah. I don't know. Just the offense. Amari Cooper, Dak Prescott.
Yeah. It's going to be close.
It is going to be close. I will Man, this is such a tough one.
Does he trust the power rankings?
I don't trust the power rankings. I don't write the power rankings. I wish I did. Yeah, give me the Rams. I'll take the Rams.
All right. And then we've got the Steelers Giants. Give me the Steelers.
Yep. Steelers all the way.
All right. And then we've got the Titans and the Broncos.
Is this going to be your lock?
You know what?
This would have been my lock had I not had the Ravens.
This is going to be my lock. Lock me some Tennessee Titan Derrick Henrys.
There it is. Tennessee Titans Monday Night Football game, Coach. It's going to be an absolute slaughter. I think the Titans are going to easily win against the Broncos.
Yeah. So those are our pick'ems, and the Rob and Bear should send them in soon.
Hopefully, Coach Krendor uploaded this in time before the game starts in 2 hours and 12 minutes from now.
Upload it right after we're done.
Thank you for the support on the offseason, everybody, and all the continued hype surrounding this season and the podcast. I think we're the fastest growing football podcast in the entire world, Coach. So
no doubter.
Congrats on that, and let us know how much merchandise you would like, because now's the greatest time to do that. Yep. And let us know how much money you're willing to pay for it, because we'll get it to you.
We'll get it to you somehow, some way. And thanks for listening. Subscribe, hit the bell, be notified when these go up. Follow us all over Twitter, SoundCloud, stuff. We got a Discord. I'll link that in the description. And that's it for this week. Have fun. It's football time, folks. Enjoy it while you can. Goodbye.